Hello there, Standard One. We've been learning all about how hurricanes form, but today I'd like to talk about when they form. In our area of the world, our hurricane season runs from June to November. This table shows the chance of a hurricane or a tropical storm coming to our area of the world. Now, from January till April, we have less than a 5% chance of a serious storm coming our way. In May, there's about a 5% chance, give or take. Now, starting in June, there's a 10% chance that a tropical storm or hurricane might be making its way to our area. In August, that chance goes up to about 50%. And in September, there is a 98% chance that a hurricane or a tropical storm will be by our area. In October, there's about a 55% chance. You notice it's starting to go down again. And in November, there's about a 10% chance. And then it drops all the way back down to 5% in December. So you can see why our hurricane season goes from June to November. That's the time of year when we really have to be on the lookout for tropical storms and hurricanes. This is also the time when our country gets the most rain. Do you remember this table? Take a look at September. We get about 11 inches of rain for that month. Makes sense, right? Because that's the time when the most storms come our way. Now, these storms, remember, they develop from a tropical disturbance to a tropical depression and then a tropical storm. Well, when they become a tropical storm, meteorologists give them a name so that we can track them a little bit better. When they become a hurricane, they keep their name. And if that hurricane becomes really strong and really dangerous, then meteorologists scratch that name from off of their list and they never use it again. So, for this year, 2021, here's the list of names that the hurricanes will have if they develop. We have Anna, Bill, Claudette, Danny, Elsa, Fred, Grace, Henry, Ida, Julian, Kate, Larry, Mindy, Nicholas, Odette, Peter, Rose, Sam, Teresa, Victor, and Wanda. Did you see any names that you recognize? Now let's talk about some of these hurricanes that have come to our country before, some of the famous names. In 2016, you all were already born for this hurricane. Hurricane Earl struck Belize as a Category 1 hurricane. It had wind speeds up to 85 miles per hour, and it caused extensive damage, especially to the Keys and a place in Ladyville called Vista del Mar. If you look at the pictures at the bottom, the first one is how San Pedro looked after the hurricane. The second one is how Vista del Mar looked afterwards. Losses to agriculture, that's our crops and our farm animals, were over 100 million US dollars. The second hurricane we're talking about is Hurricane Hattie. Maybe you've heard of that one. Hurricane Hattie hit in 1961. The eye wall of that hurricane had winds of up to 115 miles per hour, and some of those winds even went up to 200 miles per hour. That's a Category 3 hurricane with some winds which were as strong as a Category 5. The eye passed between Belize City and Dangriga in Stan Creek. 307 people died in Belize City alone. Did you know that the capital of our country was not always Belmopan? It used to be Belize City. But after Hurricane Hattie completely destroyed the city, The government decided it would be a better idea to move the capital to somewhere safer. So they started to work on Belmopan City. Have you ever heard of the village called Hattieville? Well, that village got its name from Hurricane Hattie. It was created as a place for survivors to go who were running from Belize City. They started living in a small little village in tents and small wooden houses with thatched roofs. And then the village became bigger and stronger and eventually became Hattieville Village. If we look at the bottom at the pictures, this first one is Swing Bridge. That's the bridge that's downtown when you're going on your way to DeBari and Brody's and downtown Plaza and Simon Kwan. Look at how it's completely flooded. Look at this house on the other side. That's the damage that Hurricane Hattie did to the places where people were living. The next storm we're going to be talking about did not have a name. They didn't name hurricanes so long ago in the past. This one hit Belize in 1931 on the 10th of September. That's when we were celebrating the Battle of St. George's Key. And everybody was lining up, getting ready to see the parade. And they were singing, "It was the 10th day of September." And then a Category 4 hurricane hit. The winds went up to 134 miles per hour. It swept through Belize City and the Keys. 10,000 people were affected. About 2,500 to 3,000 people died because of this hurricane, and thousands more were injured or left homeless after the hurricane destroyed their houses. People just weren't prepared. They weren't sure that a hurricane was coming. They didn't really get much warning, and they weren't educated about hurricanes the way you are being. They didn't really know much about hurricanes. This was one of the first hurricanes to ever hit our country, and it really did a lot of damage. Look at the pictures below. The first one is Wesley Church on Albert Street downtown. Look at how it completely destroyed that church and the buildings around it. See the lamppost that's falling down and all the debris and the dirt on the road? Over on this side, this picture used to be St. John's College. You might know it as SJC. Well, this is all that was left of that building after the 1931 hurricane hit. A lot of people lost their lives, their family, and everything that they owned because of this hurricane. They weren't prepared. So that's why you and I have to learn as much as we can about hurricanes so that we can be prepared. All right, Standard One. If you're interested in learning more about these hurricanes that have hit our country, I'm sure your parents and grandparents have lots of stories that they can share with you. I'm signing off for now, and I'll see you next time, class. Bye.